You ready to go?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Woosah, woosah. Okay. I can't even take myself seriously. Hey everybody, Chad Westport here, and we are back with another episode of Just One Thing. And today I've got a grower who you are all probably familiar with. We've learned a lot from this guy. We love seeing him. We got Smileys Garden.
So
And he's here to give us his Just One Thing. So Smiley, how you doing, buddy?
doing great, man. Doing great, Chad. I'm honored you asked me on, man. I am. So I'm pretty excited about it.
Well, I know I've had a good time bouncing things off of you in the past. We see you a lot on the organic takeover that you do on the Eagles Garden Network, and I've enjoyed your information. So I was excited to bring you here. Please tell us what's your one thing you'd like all new gardeners to know about.
And I guess if I was to boil down one tip, I think that any new gardener should have an aloe vera plant in their room, and have one that they can grab a frond from. That's what they call the leaf, I think. They're of them. But you can use that for cloning. So the aloe will be like your rooting dip if you're cloning a plant. And I've had really equal success to any of the rooting gels I've used in the past, I guess. And you don't have to worry about the mess. You can just recycle the aloe when you're done with that or whatever. But because you're just dipping the stem of the plants into that aloe gel, there's often a lot of gel left over. So what I'll do is squeeze that out. I typically will run it through a bit of a blender because there's a kind of a meaty part to it that it'll be like a tougher gel almost, and then there'll be more of a liquidy part. And if you blend it a little bit with some water, like a cup of water or whatever, it'll liquefy pretty easy that way. And then I like to apply that as a foliar on the growing plants and veg, and it has a systemic response that it induces in the plant as well. So it can induce some IPM type of a response for certain things like fungal pathogens. So powdery mildew and such, it kind of turns on that, it primes that resistance pump, is my understanding of that, so that you're less likely to have powdery mildew become a problem. It's one of the roles that it can play. But there's a lot of vitamins, there's a lot of enzymes, protein, different complexes of molecules in there that are all plant beneficial. So. And you don't have to take a whole leaf. I mean, sometimes, you can take a couple inches off a leaf and it'll seal back over. You can come back to that leaf later.
Cool.
So yeah, I take a cut of that leaf. And when you do, it's like there's an outer skin that's fairly thick on it. And the inside is all this liquid and gel. And then I just take the stem of the clone and go right into that open wound of the cutting where that gel is. And then I run it up and down a few times, and you can kind of feel there's a little bit of roughness to that outer skin, and that almost kind of roughs up the stem of the clone a little bit too, and gives, I don't know, that's like people trying to always peel that layer off is the way it was done when I started. But
yeah.
And you can water it in. It's one that you don't really have to be afraid of. It's not, to my, I've never had a toxicity with aloe, and I haven't really pushed it crazy, amounts or nothing, but it's like, yeah, I've never really had any concern of ever having any toxicity on the plant from it. So it's pretty safe in that respect. And I think I've heard people I've used it daily myself, but I've heard of people say they've used it even multiple times a day if whatever, seemed to be excess to me, but even daily was too much. And I've dialed it back to about once a week. I try to foliar with it. It's a cheap option to try. And when I went and it blew me away and I never stopped using it. So when you said just one thing, I'm like, well, it might be one thing. So.
Well, that was perfect. It's easy, it's accessible for people to do. Again, it's kind of regenerative. It's closing some loops, taking out some supply costs. And who doesn't love more plants in their house? So kind of a win-win there. And I want to let people know too where they can find you. These are all going to be in the show notes as well. But we got a couple places on Instagram. We got Smileys Garden, where you kind of check out the day-to-day things of the gardens and knowledge seeking and sharing. I will add that. Definitely add him for the sharing. His YouTube as well, Smileys Garden. Freaking awesome garden tours, people. Please check him out, subscribe to his channel there. But more importantly, and I want to just give you a second to talk about this one real quick, Smiley's Angels is on IG as well. Could you tell people real quick what Smiley's Angels is about?
That's the logo, and
Boom.
that's the picture on IG or whatever. So yeah, a few years ago I started making seeds for myself. I had a few like in-house things I wanted to do, back cross and in crossing wise, but yeah, my daughter and she's a teen mom, and yeah, she was getting some ambition into some of the wanting to do some sales and marketing type stuff. So we formed a company called Smileys Angels, and she's part owner of the company, and making a lot of the decisions. I'm trying to use it more like I guess kind of like a college, she can learn something from it. So but yeah, so we're gonna offer a few of the seeds that we've made, and a lot of them are from the Sky Cuddler Kush F3 lineage from Mean Gene or Jackson.
Wow, I'm drooling over here, but no. So thanks for sharing that one. That'll be, again, Smiley's Angels on IG. Check that out. And going back to, the freeborn selections, Jackson Mean Gene reference, for any new growers, these types of things, especially to me, are important to know kind of where the lineage is coming from, because there's a lot of names out there, and names are easy to slap onto things. But it's kind of like, the person who baked your pie. You know how they do it, you know what they put into it, and you know what they always are consistent. So I think that's why maybe he mentioned it, and to me it's important. So yeah, something to think for all new growers out there, because it really does come down to genetics at the end of the day. You don't have to be a master gardener to grow tremendous cannabis if you have good genetics. So you can be a master gardener with bad genetics and you'll never grow good cannabis. So yes, I'll toss that in there. And that's my one thing I guess I'm adding to Smiley's just one thing today. Double hitter. This might be the longest episode because, hey, it's a 2-for-1 kind of deal, right?
We're catching up to Hoda.
Yeah. Awesome. Oh, well, with that, Hoda, we're coming for you. But we'll wrap it there. Can't break his record. We came right to the doorstep. But Smiley, dude, thank you so much for your time today.
I'm honored.
All right, party on, everybody. We'll catch you next time on Just One Thing or Two. Bye-bye.